wanted to thank you and for this meeting, and I'm very grateful, and I really wanted to talk with you because you were one of the first member of parliament raised your voice to support Iranians' revolution, and I remember you said their voice have been heard clearly, and we must support them. One of the most important requests of all Iranian globally, and especially in Canada, is the government's list the IRGC organization as a terrorist organization, and especially that has started in Canada 3 years ago after IRGC shut down the flight PS752, and these days people are more serious about that. And we know that Canadian government already put many under sanction, but as we know, the members of our IRGC are at least over 200,000. And that being said, I wanted to know how you support this matter at the Parliament, and will Canadian government take any serious actions to list IRGC as terrorist organization?
Sure, and that's a really important question, and thanks for raising it. It's normal and natural that that Canadians of Iranian descent would ask for the IRGC to be listed. This is a natural reflex, and we have taken, as you know, this issue extremely seriously. Our Prime Minister has spoken about it at many occasions. Our Foreign Affairs Minister has raised this internationally at the highest levels. We are seized by this issue, and we are not letting go. When it's come to the IRGC, we have listed amongst the strongest sanctions we've ever done, listing 15,000 of the top IRGC officials, the deciders, the ones who are making life terrible for the Iranian people. We have listed them. That does prevent them from entering Canada. It prevents them from moving throughout this country, from investing, and that is what we've done thus far. We are continuing to evaluate the situation, and we will meet the moment. This sends an extremely strong signal. It's analogous to what we've done also with Russia, where we have sanctioned many of the leaders who are involved in the conflict against Ukraine, and we're doing something very similar when it comes to those involved in Iran.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zoubrey. I wanted to know that if ever Canadian government will take action to put entire IRGC under, to list them as terrorist organization. Why I'm asking again, it's because we know that they have not done only violations against humanity in Iran, they have done it around the world. They are terrorists, known as terrorists in Yemen, in Lebanon, in Ukraine these days, and Syria. They have been transferring lots of missiles and war equipment to those countries to make really chaos and being said all these terrorism globally that they have done, would they be a day that the entire organization be under sanction?
Right. So when it comes to the organization, we have sanctioned those who are deciding. Not only the uppermost, like recently applied sanctions on Sri Lanka. Only 4 to 5 individuals were sanctioned. We've sanctioned those who are involved for the genocide towards that's happening right now towards the Uyghur. 4 individuals and 1 entity were sanctioned. When it's come to Iran, we've sanctioned 15,000 individuals. This is much more than we've done to those who have suffered the tragedies of Tamil people, and when it comes to the Uyghur. Now, we're not here to compare other issues, but just to put things into context and to understand that the sanctions we're applying are extremely powerful and wide-ranging. So when we have actually sanctioned 15,000 individuals, these are those who are deciding exactly everything you've mentioned, everything that the Iranian people are concerned about and are struggling against. We have sanctioned an immense number of people, and we'll continue to see those who need to be sanctioned and meet the moment.
Mr. Zoubrey, one of the reasons that all Iranians in different communities in Canada and other countries, they are saying that the governments are refusing or delaying to put the entire IRGC under sanction and list them as terrorist organization is because of the money they have invested in those countries, including Canada. What do you think about this opinion, and have been discussed in the Parliament? And if you know how much they have transferred so far to Canada, and if you do anything more to support this matter, to
That's a great question. We don't want the money of human rights abusers in Canada, and we don't welcome anybody who abuses human rights in Canada. The sanctions that we've applied impact any immigration procedures. So those we've sanctioned cannot immigrate to Canada, cannot be here, and cannot invest in Canada. And these are wide sanctions. We've sent a very strong signal to those involved in human rights abuses in Iran towards Iranian people.
Is there any plan for the money that has been transferred? Because we know some of their close family members, some of their allies living in Canada, in different cities, in Vancouver, in Toronto, a lot of them. Is there any specific plan regarding that to do more investigation?
I think it's critical that the community raises this issue. It draws the government's attention to it. We are definitely seized by it in this current time, but I think it's critical that the community continues to draw the attention of the government to this. We adjust and do deal with the situation as it comes up. There are sanctions on the sanctions we applied are also impacting the finances of the people and the movements of those 15,000 that have been named.
So much, and I wanted to talk about the subject these days have been happening a lot about the sponsorship, political sponsorship by different officials from different countries, and they accepted the sponsorship of the political prisoners, which are the protesters in the streets these days. And unfortunately, even though many of them have political sponsors, still the Islamic Republic are issuing the sentence. So far, we know it's over 100 people, and during the last few weeks, sadly, some of them have been executed. And the officials and the sponsors couldn't do much regarding that. What do you think about this process, the political sponsorship, and do you have a positive opinion about that? And if yes, would you accept any political sponsorship?
The sponsorship is critical with respect to highlighting those who have been handed death sentences on very thin evidence, if any, and so that sponsorship is critical. It helps to shed light on those who are facing execution through a very thin process. This is not justice; this is injustice from a state. We cannot accept it. As Canadian legislators, I'm really happy that we are standing up in allyship. Sponsoring individuals who are on death row, political prisoners, is the right thing for us to do, and I personally support that.
Thank you so much. And another question would be: we know already part of the Islamic Republic officials or their close family members are living in Canada. For example, we know that one of the officials, the son of Fazil Larijani, who's Sina Ardeshir Larijani, he has an important role in Royal Bank of Canada in Vancouver. What do you think about this case and any other cases like that? What is the Canadian government's responsibility toward these cases?
Well, I'm certain that the government is looking into these cases. What I would like to say is that every individual is responsible for their own actions. I think that's an important principle too. But we are seized by this issue to ensure that anyone involved in human rights abuses does not have freedom of movement, is not permitted to build a home within Canada. If anybody has done any crimes, they will be dealt with by the law here in our country.
Would it be again under investigation? Because we know, for example, this person or many other their family are they have a tight relationship with Islamic Republic. Would it be any plan to investigate, for example, on how they have been living on the money that they have transferred as well as the students, as the investments, and where was the source of those money specifically?
Certainly, we have a lot of systems in place, for example, FinTrack and other agencies that look at where the origins of money are from. And if money ever is coming from those who are listed, from those involved in human rights abuses, Canada does act. We've done so in the past and will continue to do so.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate for your time and all your concerns about these issues about Iran. Thank you.
Of course. You're welcome. Stay strong.